question has come up more than once. Why are you doing this? What do you have to gain? How much is it going to cost? How big is this thing? What's the building department going to say? What are your neighbors going to say? And what do you do with it in the end? Well, some of those questions I can answer definitively. Why am I doing it? I'm a maker. I like to make things. And believe it or not, I thought model railroading was something that allowed me to use all my creative talents, my electronics background. I was an electronic technician for 20 years. So model railroading sounded like a good way to go. And it was. It allowed me to create lots of cool stuff, and it was all based on the Old West. And it was outside. It's a larger scale that you can run outside. I still have my layout. It's called Croker Digs. Had its own website for several years. Had plenty of followers. That's another story. Anyway, the problem was I'm not 18 anymore. I'm 69 years old, and while I've been lucky enough, I'm healthy. I'm still 69 years old. I can't get down on the ground and work on the buildings, and it's just becoming more and more difficult. And it got to the point where every time I go out there to work, repair, expand, things you would normally do and enjoy in that hobby, they were becoming more and more difficult and quite frankly painful. So I just couldn't get down on the ground on my hands and knees anymore. And if I had to, it wasn't a positive experience. So, you know, if I had to elaborate on, what I would like to be able to do is be able to go in that town, be able to function and work on that town. It sounds crazy, but if you can shrink yourself down and work on the town, that'd be great. I mean, play acting, whatever you want to call it, I don't care. Maybe this is from a previous life, I don't know. But the only thing I could do, and I know this is a part of the reasoning behind Thornbush, is okay, let's build it full scale. And it's one of those times where you stand back when you have a thought and you say, what the hell are you talking about? I say, what? Every day I'd wake up with this idea in my head and different things I could do, different uses for it. And every day I would doubt myself and say, dude, is this really what you want to do? Does this make sense to you? It's going to cost money. It's going to be very labor intensive. And you plan on doing it by yourself. But I won the argument. So, I did it. And I've started something that is quite unique. Let's see, the time of this video, it's September 2022. I got the idea in February. Finally put hammer to wood in March. And I've got 14, 15 businesses in the town, and saloon, hardware store, doctor's office, sheriff, telegraph, mercantile, cigar store, drugstore, cafe, hotel with plans of a second story. But it's just very cool. I mean, you take a person that's got a backyard and he wants a happy place. And I don't care if it's a waterfall or a little scale railroad or a Chinese garden or a koi pool or something. You want a place where you can just go in the afternoon, after work, whatever. Sun starts to go down, get your lawn chair and you go sit out there and you just veg out. It's your happy place. That's what this has become. It's just my happy place. And you get kind of selfish, arrogant about it. You say, you know what? You don't have to. Somebody asks you about it and they think it's silly or whatever. You say, you know what? It's not for you. It's for me and the people I want to share it with. And it helps my mental health, if you will. I have no better way of saying it other than saying it's my happy place. Now, I've been a serious buff on old mining history, old mining camps. I love to go exploring in the desert. We live in the desert. Old West mining towns. There's my phone. Those kind of things, they've always stirred my imagination. And I love to go out there, find an old bottle, find a piece of purple glass or a square nail, and you can't help but stop and pause and wonder about what was this part of? Who owned this? Who put it here? Who drove that nail? What kind of a structure was it? What were they building a home? Was it a cabin? Was it a little miner's shack? Was it part of a mining a mill operation? Was it just a guy and his wife trying to scratch out a living in the wilderness? You know, just all those things come to mind. And it's beyond imagination because you've got something physical in your hand and you can say, this is part of it. This thing has history. I wish it could talk. Anyway, so I hope you understand. But if you don't, okay. That's okay too. But it's my happy place. And I love it. And I'm going to expand it. Now there are other ideas that I've come up with. Another use, something I'd like to do out here. I'm an ordained minister. I perform 7 or 8 marriages, and I love to do that. And this would be an excellent place to have a country western wedding. You'd have to limit to the number of people, but I could easily get 75 people right here on the main street. And we could have any backdrop you want. In fact, we're working on a saloon interior as well as an exterior. And that would be cool too. Get married in the saloon. But anyway, that's just one of the cool things I like to do. Told my friend about it. I hadn't talked to him in a year, and told him what I was doing. Of course, he thought I was nuts, but he knows me pretty well. So we talked about it, and he says, well, what you've created is a movie ranch. And I stopped and thought about it, and you're right. All these buildings, it's just facades for the most part. And only half of the doors open up, and you can go behind. But it's just a facade is just a building front. Okay, so that's the movies are all about that. I mean, they use facades all the time. It's just a matter of what the camera sees. So, without getting too much into that, yeah, we could do videos here. Obviously, we could invite photography students. We could invite photographers to come in and use it as a backdrop for their shoots, all that kind of stuff. So, the video and the photography end of it alone would be very cool. But getting back to the weddings. We can have an excellent wedding here. I would really like to do that. And, as far as having it as a wedding venue, maybe. You have to work out insurance and all that kind of stuff, but such a cool thing anyway. Okay, so let's have a little walkthrough. We're in the saloon. There's the town, at least the beginnings of it, from the saloon. This here is the electronics. We got 2 solar panels on the roof of the saloon that you can't see, and they keep charge current on the battery, and the battery supplies 24/7 power for the all the lighting. It's indirect lighting, and I'll show you that in a minute, but don't want to be able to look in a ghost town and see light bulbs. You know, I don't want that at all, but there are some indirect lighting where the lighting lights from behind or something, so just so you can see it in the dark. Anyway, yeah, we got a charge controller and 2 solar panels on the roof, and just distribution from the battery, distribution to the lights outside. It's all fused and safe and low voltage, so anyway, that's kind of cool. And of course the saloon, and some memorabilia and goofy stuff. All right, let's take a walk. There's the outside of the saloon, obviously. This is the main entrance or entry to Thornbush. And we got Doc Stanford's office here on the right next to the Utter's Freight Station. And stagecoach schedule. This is a Wells Fargo stagecoach stop. This is a Bluebell Cafe, and you can get rooms for the day, week, or month. Good food. You can get a hot bath here, and that's the general menu that's posted. Next door we got the gun shop, Star and Bullock Hardware, Buck Cigars, tobacco shop. Here's a city drugstore. I got some pharmaceuticals there and ice cream, that kind of stuff. And this is your general mercantile. A lot of business here. This is where you get your staples, your kerosene, your sugar, flour, beans, dry goods, candles, kerosene, candies, men's and ladies' hats, even have some leatherware, boots. They generally have dried codfish, beef, mutton, and lamb. A little bit of dairy. Also have canned meat, fruit, and sometimes fresh vegetables. This is the sheriff's office, also the telegraph office. This is the jail. It's under construction for now. Detainees are kept in a shed. So anyway, our transition is going from Croker Digs, this, to this. With plenty of room to grow. So I got a lot of ideas. We'll get to them later. Some good, some unrealistic, but we're going to have fun doing this, and I'd like you to come along with us. Now, one thing I want to say, and I know everybody says it on the YouTube video, and that is please subscribe and like. Let me explain that just for a second. To make any money on YouTube, and believe me, this is not a money-making proposition, but there is an expense involved. and I'm more than willing to suffer that expense. But if you're finding enjoyment, if you enjoy watching my videos and following along and all that, that is so cool. If you just click on the like, the YouTube algorithm will help us, will place us in a better place where we'll get more viewers. Well, it's going to take a shitload of viewers to actually make any money, and subscribers. If you'll subscribe, you know, it doesn't cost you anything. Just click on that button, and the like button is just an appreciation thing. It doesn't cost you anything. You won't be getting emails or anything else. It's just your way of thanking me for doing what I'm doing. So anyhow, with that, oh, get a little friend here. Anyway, with that, I want you all to have a good day, and thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.